Pam, a listener to the show, writes, that Abrahamic family house is the one world religion portion. She says it's the one world religion portion of end times prophecy unfolding. I have to agree because I'm reading about how they feel about Jesus. And I knew there was a catch because, I mean, you can't have a Jewish synagogue, you can't have a mosque and a temple or a church or a chapel on one piece of land that's owned by an Islamic leadership and have it be Jesus is the Son of God. You just can't do that. It's illegal to even say that, right? And so here's the thing that really gets me is that this is only part of how we try to homogenize Jesus and his mission. There's some controversy going on right now in the Anglican Church. Prince Charles is of course, the oldest king in waiting. He's waiting to be king. He's 73 years old. And apparently they're saying that he might just be the bridge to William being king. He may not be king long, but he'll be king long enough to establish some foundation here. But the thing about Charles is that he has made statements about how he would like to see the coronation of king change. They haven't changed any of the rules of the coronation, but Charles wants the coronation changed. When he succeeds Queen Elizabeth II, he said he would drop one of the monarchy's core mottos. While he would have to continue her work in the most part, he also may choose to have some alterations to his reign. And in the past, he's expressed his desire to change the wording of his future position and also changing his name. So while many believe that he'll retain the moniker of King Charles III, he can also choose names given to him at birth. He could also call himself King Philip, King George, or even King Arthur. Now, there's speculation that Charles has seriously considered changing his name to King Arthur once he becomes king. And some believe that the story of King Arthur's return would be used to bring about the kingdom of the Antichrist. And there are a lot of images in the book of Revelation that relate to King Arthur, particularly the image of the red dragon on the flag of Wales being the beast in Revelation, a sign of the Antichrist. There's the white horseman. I mean, Arthur returning to save his kingdom on a white horse is an Anglo-Israeli legend where Arthur becomes a symbol of Christ and rules in place of Christ. So the monarch possesses this litany of titles when they accede to the British throne. The Queen's full title is currently Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of her other realms and territories, Queen, Head of the Commonwealth, Defender of the Faith. Now, when Prince Charles eventually takes her position, he will inherit those titles, but he's voiced his intention to change the Defender of the Faith moniker and just say that he's the Defender of Faith. So instead of Defender of the Faith, meaning the Anglican Church, he's the defender of all faiths. So, I mean, King Henry VIII in 1517 had all of this bestowed upon him by the Pope. And what it does is it reflects the monarch's position as supreme governor of the Church of England. As such, it relates to the ability to preserve the national faith, which since Henry VIII's rule is Christianity. However, it's been now about 500 years since the title came into being, and the UK's religious landscape has changed. The monarchy has changed. And so Prince Charles and William recognize that since the kingdom has changed, has diversified, they want to take on a new interfaith identity. So Prince Charles wants to change his moniker to Defender of Faith and not Defender of the Faith. And his intentions were revealed back in 2008 in a bid to add a little contemporary spin on the monarchy. So the prince has said that he wants to be seen as a defender of all religious faiths and not just the Anglican Church, but the coronation is an Anglican ceremony. And any change would require legislation. Both Charles and William have said they would also consider changing their names when crowned king, and both said that they would prefer using the term Arthur or the name Arthur, because Prince William's full name is William Arthur Philip Louis Mountbatten Windsor. Two royal families in Great Britain have claimed to be descendants of the royal house of David, which, of course, is the bloodline which supposedly produced many of the ruling houses of Europe today. And, of course, you can take that bloodline and some genealogies go all the way back to Jesus. And, of course, this is why the British monarchy has their power and the ruling House of Windsor has their power, because they have these genealogies that say their bloodline goes all the way back to King David. There's another family that's important to the lineage as well, and that is the House of Stuart, the House of Spencer, whose most infamous descendant was Princess Diana. So while there's a discrepancy as to whether or not the Windsor claims to the throne of England are legitimate, since they're descendants of the Germanic House Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, a lot of them agree that the Stuart lineage or the Spencer lineage was not only the rightful heir to the throne of England and Scotland, but also the throne of David and Israel itself. So in light of this, it was of paramount importance that the Windsors seek out a virgin of the Merovingian bloodline to marry into, in effect, to finally legitimize their long-held occult power and their alleged bloodline rule. So the descendant of the marriage of both Charles and Diana, a Spencer, and Charles, a Windsor, this whole descendant of the marriage, would be a once and future king, where both Charles and William could be seen as modern-day saviors of the world with the claimed bloodline from Jesus himself. So that's the dark secret about the royals, is that they see a unique Christ descendancy. From such a union, you see the draconic lineages that will legitimize their grasp on the monarchy. Therefore, this is really intriguing, and most infamous of arranged marriages between Charles and what they call the Grail Princess, the England Rose, the Holy Grail, Diana. This isn't just the Windsors here talking about this. This is an ancient design connected to the Knights Templar. In fact, 6 months after the royal wedding, while Diana was already 3 months pregnant, this book came out, Holy Blood, Holy Grail, in which 3 authors made some claims about the secret of the Knights Templar, the secret of the blood, secret of the Holy Grail, and the secret that was propagated to the world in 1982 contained genealogical records of the Davidic bloodline passing through Christ and his descendants to become the Frankish Merovingian kings, which is a secret which curiously became the foundation for the modern occult itself, connected to their prophecy about the birth of a future Antichrist figure. Those who believe in this bloodline lineage also believe that Jesus did not die on the cross, that he moved to Europe with Mary and sired children. So what this does is it, again, waters down the divinity of Christ. I mean, ask yourself this question. If these leaders want to water down the power of Christ and his divinity, it's because we live in times where the plans for the Great Reset include a leader that will be able to claim a direct bloodline to King David. So there are also a lot of other revelatory moments that are taking place right now, and it's hard to keep up with all that's happening biblically. Coming up, though, we've got something rather terrifying and obvious here that we're going to talk about. And I want you to, like I said, this is something that as we unravel the unraveling or the apocalypse, as we look into it, we're seeing that the Pope and Prince Charles and Prince William and all of these leaders within the churches are trying to water down the divinity of Jesus, all for an ecumenical brotherhood and government that will be part of the Great Reset. And this is happening little by little. And, of course, there are other things happening that I think you need to be aware of as well. And that's coming up on Ground Zero.